Hey everyone, Steve here, and in this video I am checking out the Hori Fighting Commander for the PS3 and PS4. Now at the time of recording this video, just a few days ago, Hori has actually announced the new version of the Fighting Commander for the PS5, and that looks like it's going to have an analog stick in addition to the usual fight pad, D-pad and action buttons. But as I've said in this video, I'm just taking a look at the previous or current gen version of Hori's famous fight pad. Now, I think Hori have been making fighting commanders since at least the Super Nintendo / Sega Genesis generation, and on my channel I've actually made a video of their Super Nintendo Classic version of the Fighting Commander. But in this box I do have a version that works on the PlayStation 4, PS3 and PC. Now this has been out for a few years, but I did just recently get this off of Amazon for around 70 Australian dollars. Now just taking a look around the box here, you've just got a picture of the controller on the front, Fighting Commander, which is designed for use with 2D fighting games, although I'm pretty sure it's going to work fine with games like Tekken. You can see that this was officially licensed by Sony and PlayStation, made by Hori. Not much to look at on the sides of the box, perfect for fighting games here, and more of the same on the back. So let's just open this thing up and see what we get. Okay, so I've broken the seal of the box. Let's open it up. Inside we have the controller in more cardboard packaging. Nothing else inside the box. And then you have the instruction manual. So before we take a look at the controller, let's just have a quick look at the manual. Fair enough, it just tells you only get the controller and the manual in the box. It seems to be simultaneously in English, Spanish, and French. Honestly, I don't think there's anything too groundbreaking in here. It just tells you what each of the buttons are, but they're all labeled anyways. Should be pretty self-explanatory. And as you can see, it is connected via USB cable. There is no wireless option for this controller. And we've seen all this stuff before, just the different stick toggle switches, options for L2, R2, and L1 and R1, and then how to use the turbo functionality. So I think that'll do it for the manual. The controller itself is contained within this cardboard insert, inside more plastic packaging. So let's just undo all this. That's that. And here is the controller in the bag. And here we are fully unboxed. This is the Hori Fighting Commander for PS3 and PS4. Now right off the bat, it seems like all these buttons use normal membrane contacts, so there's no sort of keyboard or mechanical switch style action going on. Which is interesting, because I guess the only thing that makes this a fight pad is the layout, but that's perfectly agreeable. And then we do have a traditional cross-style D-pad, no circular rocker or anything like that. And your usual 6 main action buttons to create the Fighting Commander style. In terms of the shape of the controller, it is kind of like a PlayStation controller where, you've got your little handles here. Given that there's no analog sticks here, it kind of just creates a sort of general arc shape where you can kind of focus on just holding all of the buttons easily accessible within your hand. I find it funny that for share and options, they've gone with the traditional select and start shapes here. You have your circular home button and a small turbo button here, which is pretty out of the way. So if you never need to use turbo, I don't see you accidentally hitting that. And then we have, I guess, your shoulder and trigger buttons with the mappings that you can choose. So basically with these 4 in the position that they are, they can either be L2, L1, R2, R1, R3, L3, L2, L1. And because you already have an R2 and R1 on the front here, I always like to flick this setting to the right where it gives you access to R3 and L3, which you didn't have previously before. And then where I can help it, I always like to leave the directional setting to the D-pad because it just seems to make the most sense. And there we have it, the Hori Fighting Commander. Model number is PS4-044U, made by Hori, made in China. And I actually can't see a year that this came out on the box here. Let me look through the manual. No, I really can't see a year for this thing anywhere, which is interesting, but that doesn't really matter. Let's try this out on some games. Okay, so you can see here that I've turned my PS4 on. I haven't actually unwrapped the cable here yet, so let's do that quickly. Nice little twisty tie, and let's see if it works plugging in natively. My PS4 is just off to the side here, plugging it in, press buttons, nothing yet, press home button. There we are. D-pad works nice and fine. Let's start with Street Fighter V, because it is one of the few 6-button fighting games that I have. If you know me, you know this channel, you know that I'm mostly a Tekken guy. While Street Fighter V is loading, let's just test out the share button. Nice. Options isn't going to do anything. Home button works fine. Turbo, we can probably just program that now. So hold turbo down, press square. Whoop. Actually, something a little interesting was programming the turbo button. I don't know if that's working right now. So how do you program turbo? Hold it down, press square, and then When you press square again, you can see it kind of blinking there, the green LED. And if you want to clear it, I guess we would just press turbo again, twice it seems. And yeah, pretty simple. Apparently I'm not connected to the network, which is fine. Let's just try this out in arcade mode. Okay, so let's just make sure that the buttons are correct before I start playing. I don't even know where to do that. Where the hell do I change buttons? I guess I'm just gonna change button settings inside the game. So just like when I was trying out the Razer Ryon fightpad, I'm probably just gonna use this in a claw configuration. So it's like a mix between an arcade stick and a D-pad. I'm not gonna play it like this, because I can anchor the controller onto the surface I'm playing on anyways, or if I was playing just on my legs, you could anchor it on your thigh. Okay, so here I can change the controls. I've just restored the defaults and it looks like everything's going to be mapped pretty readily. We have all your punches, all your kicks, 3 punches, 3 kicks. If I change this to the R3 and L3 thing, I actually can't map those to anything. That's interesting. So you don't actually get extra buttons if you do this R3, L3 setting, at least not in Street Fighter. I actually find it hard to do punch and kick at the same time in the claw grip, but maybe I'm just not used to it. Overall, the control is nice to play with though. The buttons are nice and responsive. They're not, you know, clicky or anything, so it doesn't feel like you're playing on an arcade stick at all. They're still the normal, I guess you could say mushy membrane buttons, but they're only mushy relative to, you know, micro switches. Didn't mean to do this. Clearly that's just gonna whiff. Nice. Let's do one more round of Street Fighter. I've set the turbo onto square again. Mash, light, punch, all day. Gonna clear that. Oh, so the second turbo setting just does it automatically. So it's just gonna do that until I stop it. But if I set it to another button, it's gonna do that too. That's medium punch. Anyways, turbo, good way to get yourself disqualified. But if you're playing like by yourself or you're playing some sort of like shoot 'em up, probably worthwhile. How do I stop it? Okay, managed to clear it. Okay, really consistently getting Hadoukens out of this, 100 times out of 100, I would reckon. So, nice, awesome. Fighting Commander working great for Street Fighter. Okay, the second game I'm gonna test is Guilty Gear Strive. I'm not an expert Guilty Gear player by any means. I like it just because it looks cool and sounds cool. You could make do with just 4 maybe. Could be totally wrong about that, but let's have a go anyways. Just gonna be playing offline. Okay, so before I pick Soul, let's look at the button settings. We got punch, kick, slash, heavy slash. Dash is L3, so that's actually going to be tied to my L1 here, which is awesome. Roman cancel, I might tie to R2, or L2 on this controller. Psych burst, don't need any of that. Don't really need taunt. I think that's it. So you do need at least 5 buttons for sure. Let's try psych burst here. I don't even know what it does, to be honest. And let's just go for it. I guess the loading times for offline are pretty good. I say that as I wait for this bird to finish flying. Okay, it is taking quite a while. Ah, not too bad. What are people complaining about? And this is on a PS4 Slim. What's my dash? Oh god. Can you tell I don't know what I'm doing? Oh Jesus, again. I'm dead. Oh, nice. Oh, no, I was dead. Let's look up some moves. Gunflame. Wild throw is, oh, what is this? Oops. It's like a Tatsu? I mean, it's a DP with a kick. It's a kick DP. Oh, got it. Nice. That was sick. I might have to play non-claw. Oh, why can't I? What the hell? Oh geez, wall break. Oh geez, no, I'm dead. And to finish up the playtesting, let's play some Tekken 7 arcade mode. Now actually I have to make sure my controller is set up correctly. Rage art there, don't really need assists, but let's just move it to R2 and should be good to go. Yeah, dropped it. Is it cheating to demon with the rage art button? Probably, but don't really care about that right now. Controller still feeling good. This is something I probably can play claw again with. Although it is pretty light, and if you like tapping your buttons hard, you will end up moving the controller a bit. So make sure you're anchored nice. Well, how do I do the... Uh-oh. Oh, there we are. I was thinking, how do I do the super Hadouken? Let's try it non-clawed. Oh, geez, what the hell? I actually find how big the controller is harder to use like this, actually, because I've got a lot of distance to cover between, I guess, where my hand is and the main action buttons. So with claw, it's pretty easy. I guess it's not even right to call it claw, but with this a kind of grip, not really sure what you call that, but playing it normally like this puts these buttons at least at a bit of a distance. It's just in my opinion. Yeah, overall this controller does feel pretty nice. At least when you're playing offline Tekken, that is. So I reckon that just might about do it for the the playtesting of the Hori Fighting Commander for the PS4 and kind of wrap up my look at it. So as I said before, this is one of the more recent entries in the long-standing Fighting Commander fightpad series by Hori. Between generations, it doesn't really seem like they refined too much. Maybe they just changed the layout or fine tweak some of the functionality. Like I said at the start of the video, there is a new generation of the Fighting Commander coming out for the PS5. It's actually already out for the Xbox Series consoles, where it has a analog stick, just a single one, but one that you could use for additional functionality. But yes, in essence, they all have these 6 main fight pad style action buttons. They are usually D-pad focused, I guess, just because of the perceived increase in accuracy. And because you have 4 triggers or 4 shoulder buttons, the key ability to map R3 and L3, which is, the analog stick click-ins to the shoulders, is always an added bonus. I'm not really testing out the PS3 or PC functionality because that really just encodes the inputs to USB friendly or D input style controllers. Personally, I do like that they have the old school start and select buttons, even though they didn't really need to do that. It's just a nice touch. If you're a fan of the Fighting Commander series or even just a collector of them, then this is probably something that you might want to consider having in your collection. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for now. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below and I'll answer as much as I can. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate it if you could like it. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and check out my other videos as there's a lot to see. Thanks again. See ya.